folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here, another live from Mallet Buildings. Happy Tuesday, by the way. Let's get this show started. Okay, as always, hold on here. Man, we got to get this fixed. Okay, $500 discount. Military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people and in search for a building, make sure you get this $500 discount. Okay, we also got Tiger Cash. What does that mean? Type in cash to a live feed just like this one and receive $1,000 off your signature or elite building. Okay. All right, referral program. We will send you $200 every buying customer you send us. We have a bunch of referrals out there. Take advantage of this program. It is real, folks. We send money out every week. Okay, ambassador program. So our ambassador program, we have a bunch of ambassadors out there. If you buy a building from us and want to showcase your building, we'll pay you for it. All right, showcase your building to prospective customers near you. Give honest insight on your buying and building experience. Earn $200 when that customer buys. So it's very simple. So if you're out there, if you bought a building from us and would like to have more information on our ambassador program, let us know. Call me, call our building specialist, and we'll let you know. Okay? Or you can text 337-214-0428, and you can enroll there. All right, let's go over our specials. We got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $29,499. That's $19 a square foot. You got a 40 by 50 by 12 for $40,999. That's $20 a square foot, folks. These prices, we went down on them a little bit this week. Get it while it's hot, okay? All right, we got a 40 by 100 by 12 for $77,999. That's $19 a square foot. All of our value buildings come with 10 by 10 roll-up door, one 36-inch walk-through door. You get a 4-year workmanship warranty on the value build series. 130 mile-an-hour wind rating. 26-gauge metal is standard on the value. Our competitors are going to use 29 gauge. Okay, that's important. Scissor truss. Scissor truss are standard on our value series building. Okay, you got a 4,000 4-inch 4,000 psi concrete. Our competitors are going to use 3,000. 4,000 is 33% stronger than 3,000. And you get our cable retention system, which we'll go over in a minute. Concrete in every hole, so it's going to be underneath the post. Okay. Now the facts. Let's talk about it. This is some of our specs on the value. Number one, dry kiln NCA ground treated lumber throughout the building. Folks, listen to me. We looked at a quote from a competitor today. Most of the competitors are charging the same as we are, and they're giving the customers white wood in your building. The termites are about to start swarming, so just understand when you buy a Mallet building, you're getting 100% total treated building. Okay, that's very important because you have to watch how some of these people, our competitors, are out there. Sometimes they don't give you treated throughout the building, so that's important. Okay, post secured 3 to 4 foot in the ground. We're going to make sure that we're securing that post 3 to 4 foot in the ground. In fact, I'll show you a little bit about our monitoring system after a while, but we make our builders take pictures, thorough pictures throughout, and our video throughout the process. Okay, here was what I was talking about a while ago. We put an 80-pound dry packed concrete under every post underneath there. It's going to act like a pad. That's important. Our competitors don't do that. Okay, double 2 by 12 headers. What does that mean? Well, on the top of your building, we're going to put 2 2 by 12. This is what your truss sits on. Okay, so very important. Most of our competitors are going to use 2 by 6s, 2 by 8s, maybe if you're lucky 2 by 10. We use 2 by 12s. 2 by 12. All right, truss is secured with ollie log screws. So we got a diagram in our packet when we give it to our builders and you to show you how we do this, okay? And then we have, when we inspect that building, we go and look for this to make sure that that our builders do it right. And we do that on every single building that we build, okay? 2x6 interwebbing on treated trusses, okay? So here's some common truss, but if you can see inside this truss, we call that the webbing. All right, some of our competitors might say that they're using 2x6 truss, but the inner webbing is going to be 2x4s. Okay, so watch out for that. It's gonna be way less sturdy. Okay, so watch out for that. Use our spec sheet, which is coming up shortly to show you, to verify that, because it's important. And key word, treated truss. All of our truss are treated. #1 kill dry lumber. Okay, engineered aircraft's cable retention system. Okay, this is what this is. Nobody else does this in the business, folks. We're going to put a basket, if you will, underneath your concrete. We're going to go from post to post, horizontally and vertically and diagonally throughout that building. We're going to pour your concrete, and that's going to help with the uplift. It's interlocked in all your posts. It would have to take the whole building up and the concrete to take your building. So it's very important. Okay? Nobody builds what we build. Compare the specs, folks. This is what we're trying to educate you on. We're going to give you a spec sheet. You're going to have all of our qualifications, and you're going to have everything that we put in that building. This is where it's going to say, #1, kill dry and MCA ground treated lumber throughout the building. Okay? You're going to be able to see 2x12 headers, what we just talked about. So we do what we say we're going to do, and we give you a sheet telling you what we're going to do. So that's important. If you're out there shopping, take this spec sheet, demand for them to do what we do, and you're going to see that we're the best option for you. Okay? So if you go to the signature series, which is going to be a notch above the value, it's a number 4-star building. This is you're going to get 2x8 scissor truss, a 5-on-12 roof pitch. Okay, nobody else is really doing that, folks. I haven't seen any of our competitors build that. They say they can, but they're going to charge you. Okay, this is standard. You're going to get the 26 gauge metal that's standard on roof and wall insulation on the signature building. 4-inch, 4,000 PSI microfiber concrete. That's what I was telling you. Our competitors are going to use 3,000. This is 33% stronger. Okay, you got 2 10x10 roll-up doors, 1 walk-through door, 6-year workmanship warranty, and everything else that comes with your value building. Okay, now if you really want the best building in the industry, all of our buildings are, but this has a lot more in it, folks. You're going to get, you're still going to get the 2x8 scissor truss, 10-year workmanship warranty. We're going to tighten up. We're going to tighten up the truss spacing. You're going to get a 3-foot truss spacing on this building and a 9-foot post spacing. That's going to get this building up to 145 mile-an-hour wind load. Okay. You're going to get roof and wall insulation, gutter and gutter brush. Remember, I told you that's extra cost that we throw in for you on this building. You're going to get 6-inch 4,000 PSI concrete. So you're going to get 6-inch is 1.5 times stronger than 4-inch. Okay, and then with that 4,000 PSI, it's 33% stronger. So we're delivering you right here, folks, the best building in the industry. You're going to get, of course, you're going to get the post protectors in this building, insulated windows, continuous ridge vents in this building, wainscoting. And like I said, it's 145 mile-an-hour wind load. Okay, what happens after you sign a contract? I want to walk you kind of through when you do the deal here at Mallet. You sign the contract. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. Of course, you're going to go into the design phase, permit and planning, delivery, building, forming, concrete, final inspection. Our final installation and inspection. Let's go over that. Okay? Design phase. After you sign your contract, our team has 15 business days to get the initial design to you for approval. Sometimes it takes less. It depends on the, your style building. Okay? For residential builds, this time frame is subject to change. Of course, when we have to deal with a lot of residential stuff, it may take a little longer than 15 days. Got to get everything right in there for you, okay? If there's any changes in the design, adding a wing, changing the size, all that's going to happen here. Our designers are going to take care of that, okay? Permits and stamp plans. If your project requires stamp plans, our engineer approves the designs and stamps them here. We have an engineer on staff. You might have met him yesterday. Daryl is going to stamp all your plans. You take your design to the permit office for a permit or a permit waiver, okay? So you're going to take that. After we give you that, you're going to take that and you're going to get your permit. If you choose to have us pull your permit and become the licensed contractor on record, there could be an additional fee. So if you don't want to do all that, talk to us. We'll be glad to do that for you, but there will be an extra fee to do that. So ask us about that. Okay, delivery phase. What happens on the delivery phase? Once we have your permit or waiver, we schedule your material delivery. Weather depending, delivery is typically 8 to 12 weeks after your permit is received. And you see, we'll take pictures. I'll go through this in a minute. We're going to drop your materials off, and we're going to take a lot of pictures and or videos of that. Okay, the building phase. Once the materials are delivered, our crew arrives within 2 weeks to erect the building. Sometimes sooner than that. We like to say 2 weeks because it allows us to give you time. Sometimes it's the day after we deliver it, sometimes it's a week after. But we say 2 weeks here so we can be safe. Okay, crews take 3 to 4 days to assemble your building. So once they start, you're going to line it out, they're going to string it up, you're going to say yes, go with it, and they're going to start erecting your building. It's not going to take long after that. Okay, after your building is erected, we're going to measure the foundation. So we're going to send some guys out there, well, the inspector out there, and he's going to inspect your building. He's going to measure to see how much fill sand you have, okay? Additional 60-40 mix may be required for foundation needing more than 6 inches of sand. So what that means is if your building is this high off the ground and we need to add some we don't really want to put that much fill sand, so we may ask you to get some 60-40 mix, okay, which compacts a little bit better. But all that is communicated with us here in scheduling with you, okay? After we get your building to grade, we put your fill sand in. If you got a 4-inch slab, we're going to get it to grade for you to receive your 4-inch slab. Or if it's 6-inch, we're going to get it to grade to receive that. We're going to come in with our membrane or our visqueen, 6 mil visqueen, and we're going to put our cable retention system. At that point, you're ready for concrete. Right here. Once the foundation is at grade, we schedule your concrete pour. We ask that you be on site for every pour to sign off on the finished product. We need you there when we pour the concrete so you can work with our finishers and how you want that your concrete to be finished. And we're going to ask you to sign off on it. Okay? Well, missed one. Okay, final inspection. Once the concrete is poured, we will finish installing building features like gutters, doors, electrical. You can see we put some electrical in this building if there are any, okay? And we'll also cut some control joints if your building gets it, okay? And then do the final inspection. Every step of every phase is monitored. This is what I was talking about earlier. Let's go through a little show. So every one of our customers is here, okay? We monitor it daily. If for instance, if you can see different pictures associated with it, this customer is probably almost finished. He's got 233 pictures and our videos in there. So what happens here is we're watching the build every step of the way. We have our crews that are required to take certain pictures that we ask for them and our videos before they go to the next step, so we can ensure that we're doing everything properly to your building, okay? For instance, this guy, you know, just showing you different pictures. This is a picture that we require our delivery drivers to to take. So once he gets there and he drops your material off, he's going to take several pictures to ensure that all the materials were dropped there and nothing was damaged. Okay? Once the builders start, like I said, they have certain pictures that they need to take for us so we can let them go to the next phase. One of those pictures that we ask for is the depth of the hole, the depth of where your post is going to go. We require a minimum of 3 foot here, okay? As you can see, just different pictures. This is some pictures I was talking to you about bringing your building to grade. You can see we have the sand in there, and he's measuring to make sure he's at the proper elevation to receive your concrete. And then here we are pouring the concrete. Okay, now let's address the Jake Hebert. We hadn't talked about him in a couple of days. Let's address the Jake Hebert story. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, let's recap. Jeff Hebert's father previously purchased a building from Mallet Buildings and was extremely satisfied. We showed you documentation on that. He loved the experience. Jake Hebert initially expressed interest in working with us for his building. Okay? Around that same period, 2 former building specialists, Corey King and David Reeves, resigned from Mallet Buildings and joined Southern Barnes and Building. Shortly after that, Jake Hebert made a sudden decision to proceed with Southern Barnes and Building, which is okay by us, okay, instead of continue with Mallet Building. It is a known fact that these leads was poached from Mallet and that Jake was influenced by the former employees now working for Southern Building. So we showed you all this, folks, all right? Now, Corey King recently sent a text message. As we started talking about the Jake Hebert story, Corey King recently sent a text message to a current Mallet worker or employee here in which referred to Mallet Building as being lunatics, okay? So in that same message, he also said things like thief, angel is wild, or, you know, angle is wild. The thief angle is wild is what he's saying, okay? Imply that the story is being called wild is likely contains an element of truth. So I think what we're trying to say is he's saying it's wild, we're saying it's showing an element of truth there. Because, I mean, we only do factual information, okay? So the next sentence in the Jake Hebert comment that he did, I've asked y'all multiple times to stop texting me, but y'all still do so. I thought I would send something to show that I am done with Mallet. I think that's why he sent the Southern Barnes Building, if I can remember correctly. Okay? We operate here at Mallet, we operate with integrity and respect both to how we build and how we communicate. It is important to distinguish between honest communication and intentional malice. There was no intent to upset or provoke Mr. Hebert to respond with hostility towards holiday greeting. You know, folks, all we did was send him a happy Easter thing. So we're sorry about that. You know, the text message in question was simply happy Easter, what I just said. This is what it looked like. This is what we sent Mr. Hebert. Happy Easter. So we wasn't doing anything other than that, folks. Oh, so you got that. I'm sure Lee's going to touch more on Jake Hebert's story, but you know, folks, hey, look, the bottom line is we want to earn your business. We were earning Mr. Hebert's business. We had 2 guys that left the company, provoked him to go and do business elsewhere, and then all this happened. And all we wanted to do was show our side of the story because somebody else started it. So I hope you got some answers there. We will beat anybody. We will bring us a bid, and we will beat that bid by $1,000. Okay, folks. It's not going to be the same. Why? Because we do things right. Nobody does things like we do here at Mallet Buildings. But let it come show us and let us show us your bid and let us show you why we are the best choice to build your building. All right. Now, let's go over our specials one more time. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $29,499. That's $19 a square foot. You got a 40 by 50 by 12 for $40,999. That's $20 a square foot, folks. All right, you got a 40 by 100 by 12 for $77,999. That's $19 a square foot. These prices are outstanding. These sales are going to end Saturday, folks. Call our business specialist. Call me. We'll get you that building. All right, that's going to be our show today. We appreciate your business. We'll see you tomorrow.